you a situation, and then you do certain activities, and the author of the tests asks you, okay, Mickey, you read a lot of books, you studied how to become a businessman, then you started your own business, then you started to have success, and then this and that. Let me stop this video because I wanted to show it later. I want to show this video later. Um, and so the question says, what method is Mickey using to set up his business and become successful? Inductive method, analytic method, deductive method, cross-functional, this and that. So lots of
Mm,
questions about that. So it's a good number of questions about research, which is actually what a guy is supposed to be doing eventually, right? To do some type of research about any item that you choose.
mhm.
And well, to be honest, I only answer those questions by logical deduction because it's something that you're not prepared to face, right? They don't tell
Yeah,
you
of course.
the contents of the exam. There
Mhm.
was another section called math. In that, well, math problems were really simple. They were not even junior. They were not even high school problems. They were like junior high, very very basic.
Mm,
Talking about math, and then basic algebra, but very 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 basic. Like you have a jar of juice, and
mhm.
then you give half of it to Mich, and then you keep 15 liters. After that, your dad comes and takes one half of the jar,
Mhm.
and at the end, you give another little to Luis and to your mom, and then you get 2 liters. How much orange juice did you have originally in the jar? So they're
Mm.
just very simple equations. You need to formulate it very simply, and that's very simple to solve. And there were a few, very few, like not even 10 questions about grammar, right? And this is very interesting when you talk about the languages, because sometimes certain use of the language becomes very common yet incorrect. And I'll show you an example. And I thought about that. I thought when I was reading, not that, but later on, I was thinking about the uses of English and uses of Spanish, which are very common but are incorrect. And this was one question that made me that clear. For example, the question was, which of the following is correct? And then they give you three sentences, right, in Spanish, right? Mm, eh, yo soy el que tomó el agua del garrafón, right? Of course, doesn't have double F. And yo soy el que tomé el agua del garrafón, and it has double R, garrafón. And then the other one is uh, nosotros somos los que fuimos a la fiesta. Only one is correct, and which one do you think is the right, the grammatically correct? Grammatically correct. Which one is
Mm,
grammatically correct?
I would say the. Yo soy el que tomé la hueva. The first one?
The first one is the one that is correct, exactly. That because grammatically speaking, you should yo soy el que tomó, no soy el que tomé, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you will accept probably, Mickey, that this one, the second form, is very common, right?
Yeah,
Yo soy el que fui. No, it's not yo soy el que fui, yo soy el que fue, right?
yeah.
but it's very common. Like for example, in English, it's very common that people say, if if I was you, I wouldn't worry so much. If I was you, whereas strictly speaking, it is more correct to say if I were you. Although you say what if I were you is not right. Well, in conditional cases, it's actually correct to say if I were you, si yo fuera tú, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's conditional. Another another expression which is very common in English is I don't like none of that, which is more common to is correct to say I don't like any of that, because in the first one you are negating two times. I don't like none of that.
Yeah, that's true.
right? So it's correct to use, but it's very common. So it really is not that it's a very, very dramatic error to use. I don't like none of that. But in this type of exams, you need to choose the right answer. So you did very well, Mickey, here. Well, there were like 10 questions like this.
Well, yeah, you must be aware of all the sentences and try to don't confuse you.
Exactly. You need to be very, very attentive. And there is another one which is very funny. I was telling my girlfriend about this. It was a problem like this. Mickey is in a rush to get to Chiapas, right? To Chiapas. And then you want to get to Chiapas, Mickey, and then you're in a rush, right? And they show you three graphs, and they tell you, okay, graph number one is like this. Okay, this is one graph with three trains,
Hmm.
right? And this is the hours. This is the time it takes, the time, and this is the destination, right? Not train, destination. Okay, and in one case you leave at 4 and you arrive at 12. So this is the time. This is 4. This is very funny because it leads you that we sometimes are uh, distracted by the text, and then it can lead to confusion. So let's say that this takes here and this arrives here, right? So this is 7 and 8, and then you arrive like at 14 hours. So it takes 6 hours. So because Mickey is in a rush, you imagine that you want to choose the shortest train, right?
Hmm.
So which, and then they ask you which of the following trains spends the most time to get to Chiapas. So that is the question. But you have the idea that you want to choose the one that spends the least amount of time.
Least, yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you say, oh well, this is train A. You found it already, Mickey. You already have the
Hmm.
idea of the problem, right? They make you think that you're gonna choose the one that spends the least time, when in reality it asks you to the one that spends the most time. You see?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that was really the funny things about the exam. But other than that, I think it was okay. Maybe one day you will do a
Uh,
doctoral degree, Mickey. You never know, right?
yeah, probably.
Well, you're very
But
young. Yes, yes, Mickey.
these doctoral degrees focus on what or how it's called.
Is interinstitutional doctor. It's called Doctorado Institucional en Economía Social Solidaria, right? In
Well,
economy, it's called the DS. It is a program sponsored by CONACYT.
mhm.
Uh, your dad has given me a number of letters of recommendation, so I cannot tell you how many letters of recommendation he's given me to different programs. Uh, but I'm going to apply to this one, and let's see how we do. The idea is to get a scholarship from CONACYT and do a research about some specific topics, and then let's see if we first of all you need to be accepted, then you need to get the scholarship from CONACYT,
Mhm.
and then do lots of not a number of changes, really very few changes. Maybe just I would drop the Liceo Cervantino classes. I don't know, and that would be the only change in my time, and I would devote it morning time to working on the research, and that's the only change that I would do. And also I would need to go to Aguascalientes every like 3 weeks to
Mhm.
present my progress. That would
Oh,
also that would only be the only the minor change, Mickey.
that's great, sure.
Hmm.
And yesterday, how many people were there in the exam? Or this was you? No.
No, it
Only you?
was it was like 200 people, but 18 only were devoted for the program of this degree. Only 18 people
18.
for this degree. Yes, 18
Wow.
um, for this. Then there
Mhm.
were for the master's degree like 80, no, like yeah, like 80 people for a master's degree in masters. degree in masters in what? Business and architecture. Master's degree, a master's degree. There were like 80. There were a significant number of people, Mickey.
Wow. And the rest were not accepted?
I don't know how many applicants wanted to take the exam, but there were 80 for a master's degree, 18 for this doctoral degree. Then there were other three rooms full of
Mm.
people. So I would guess 300 candidates for different programs
Wow.
total. Yeah, because there were three rooms, each one with roughly 100 people. So I would say total 300, but I'm just guessing. So that's how I number or count the people. And
That's great,
well,
teacher.
yeah, thanks. Well, let's cross fingers. Let's see.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do. They'll give us results in November. So uh, step by step, right? But I
Yeah.
want to thank you for accepting to change this class so many times. And well,
Yes, teacher, don't worry.
we have a good chapter here, which is technology, because there are many
Yeah.
situations where technology plays an important role. What is, with your own words, Mickey, your concept of technology, and what is the benefit of technology, having a lot of technology versus not having it?
Mm, well, my definition of technology could be tools that we use to facilitate some activities or some things that normally we do.
So yeah, to facilitate our activities, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I like the definition. To what extent? In other words, um, they cannot do exercise for us, of course. They cannot eat for us. They cannot sleep for us. So
Mm,
basic activities they cannot replace, but they can substitute. Let's say elaborate activities. With what purpose? What would be the purpose to facilitate these activities for us?
could be uh, reducing the time that normally we spend doing those activities.
Reducing the time. Computers normally don't make mistakes, do they?
Oh yeah, no.
As we said the other day, you don't have to. We don't have to pay
Hmm.
or give them a raise, right? That's another issue with computers or robots. However, there are significant risks associated with that. Let's read the definition first, Mickey, please. Can you read the definition that we have here, please?
Yes, sure. Technology is the way we apply scientific knowledge for practical purposes.
Okay. Where would you start with technology? Once you start acquiring technology, for example, which was the first technological tool that we use in humankind? Uh,
Mm, uh,
which do you
oh
think
yeah,
was first?
producing
Building
fire.
before building a ramp, right? Maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, because with fire you could start cooking animals' meat. Building a ramp, you could start building shelters, right? That is the application. Why would you produce fire in those dates? Why would you produce fire, Mickey?
To stay warm.
Okay, well, absolutely yes. Yeah, because you had no shelter, right?
Hmm.
What else? Why would you produce fire then?
To cook
To cook also, to cook the animals'
animals.
flesh, right? The meat,
Hmm.
exactly. And then when they started to build. I mean, why would they build a ramp or have a ramp or use a ramp? What would it be the purpose?
Mm, Ramp is rampa.
Rampa, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Building a ramp. Probably were built for the people who cannot walk and have like uh, what's his name? Share wheels? I don't know.
Wheelchairs.
Wheelchairs?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm talking about the prehistoric, not prehistoric. Yeah,
Well,
the
yeah,
old,
talking
the old.
about prehistoric, I don't know, probably to reach things that normally we couldn't reach without a ramp.
Oh, well, yeah, to reach things at a higher altitude. For yeah, that's true. For construction purposes, do you think that some of the great constructions of today, or not of today, of the old days, like pyramids, how did they put a stone above another stone, like the Egypt pyramids or the Teotihuacan pyramids? Probably they needed a ramp, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Used ramps to pull heavy objects. So that was the original technology. What is, in your opinion, Mickey, a more modern application of technology? What is the most recent technological discovery that you have heard of recently?
Technology discovered. Probably could be, mm, well, obviously, uh, internet or cell phones.
Okay, technological advances. Internet, yes, internet. Well, but internet has already good 20, 30, some good 30 years, don't yeah, I would say.
Yeah,
But
but
they have been
well,
making progress, constantly,
uh-huh.
constant progress, right? Yeah, that's true.
The signal, the cell phones. Now we are in some places is 5G,
Hygiene, wow.
5G, the 5th generation of
5G.
red signal. I don't know how to say it.
Red signal, yeah, yeah, that's true. 5G in cell technologies, cell phone technologies. Yeah, that's true. What else is our state of the art? They call to the latest technology development.
Mm, uh, a few weeks ago, I saw a new product of Xiaomi. Xiaomi is a brand from China, and they create like your cell phone, but in sunglasses. So all the notifications and all the calls you're gonna receive in your glasses, and you can answer with the movement of your eyes, and you well
Wow.
just need to, yeah. Let me see if I can find it here.
Yes, sunglasses. Let's say, what would be a good name? Computerized
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Well, I can't share because I'm not in the laptop, but
Oh, okay.
let me move my camera. Um, well, I don't know if you can see it.
Ah, yes. Let me increase the. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Yes, I am. Wow, those are amazing. Yeah, just amazing. I can see them.
Here is the micro LED in the glasses. Here's in the camera, and yeah, you can uh, answer messages, answer calls only with the movement of your eyes because, well, that's for me. So it's a lot of technology.
It's fabulous. Recently, there were some news which blazed the world of chess, and this is the article by cheating allegations.
Hmm.
Okay, let's take a look. Do you know about Magnus Carlsen being the world champion of chess?
Mars Carson?
Magnus Carlsen is here.
No.
Okay, he was recently beaten by Hans Niemann, a kid of 19 years old from the US, and there were accusations by Magnus Carlsen that Niemann is cheating, which is a serious accusation. Let's take a quick look at this just for a little bit. Please, Miky,
Hmm.
if you can please read this article a little bit, just very shortly. Can you please read it from here? The chess world. Am I sharing? I think I am, right? Yeah, I'm sharing, right?
Had a problem with my microphone. Uh,
Oh, okay.
the chess world has been shaken by a cheating accusation at the highest level
Oh, I,
of.
I, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I clicked a link.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
The chess world has been shaken by a cheating accusation at the highest level of play since Magnus Carlsen's loss to Hans Neumann at the Sinquefield Cup on September 4th, and Mr. Carlsen's subsequent decision to withdraw from that tournament. When they were paired again last week in the Julius Baer Generation Cup, Mr. Carlsen resigned in protest without making a second move in the game.
yes, Mr. Niemann.
Mr. Neumann was eliminated from that event in the quarterfinals, but this didn't did nothing to quell rumors of impropriety that swirled around his play after his victory with the black pieces over. Mr. Carlsen, neither Mr. Niemann nor a representative for Mr. Carlsen responded to requests for comment.
In Mr. Carson's first public statement.
In Mr. Carlsen's first public statement since the Julius Baer Generation Cup, he said on Twitter on Monday, "I believe that Niemann has cheated more, and more recently than he has publicly admitted." Mr. Carson added, "Throughout our game in the Single-Field Cup, I had the impression that he wasn't tense or even fully concentrating on the game in critical positions, while outplaying me as black in a way I think only a handful of players can do." Mr. Carson's statement sent shockwaves through the chess world just 7 days before the US Chess Championship and Ellen 14-play round-robin tournament in which Mr. Niemann is seeded 8th.
Yeah. So he's accusing Niemann of cheating in their game. How can this be possible? Well, there have been numbers of cases in which a chess player cheats. How do you think a chess player can receive the moves from a computer that cannot beat anyone in the world?
Mm, I don't know. mm, Probably could be. I don't know. In the tournaments, normally they have like a clock, right?
Yeah, they have a clock. Yeah. Do you think the clock?
Probably. I don't know. Probably the clock was fixed in a way that probably he. Uh, I don't know. Probably the movements of him will be less than the other guy.
Yeah, I have an idea. Did you ever watch the movie The Godfather?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie. And in one of the scenes, Corleone, Michael Corleone, the kid, which is played by this Italian guy. What's the name? He's Al Pacino. By Al Pacino.
Al Pacino? Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let me see if the scene is here. There must be a scene like that. He goes to the bathroom and takes a gun. They tell him that he has to kill a guy of the mafia that is betrayed the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time that Michael has to commit a murder of that nature, because he's gonna take over his father's position as the leader of the mafia, and then before he and they organize a meeting, supposedly friendly meeting. In this meeting, they're gonna sit at a table, but before entering the restaurant, they search him. They search him. They make sure he doesn't have a gun or anything, right? So he enters the door. He enters through the door. Here is the door, and at the gate, they search him. They make sure that he doesn't have any guns or anything. Then he sits here with the other person in front of him, and they are sure that he doesn't have a gun or anything. Actually, there are two people here, right? And this is Michael Corleone. This is Miky. Mike, is your tocayo, Michael
Corleone.
Corleone, right? Michael Corleone, right? He's sitting here. You have to see the movie, Mickey. It's an absolute bestseller. Really good movie. Michael Corleone, The Godfather.
Yeah, the name sounds to me, but I think that I never saw the movie.
You never saw the movie, all right? It's old, but it's a fantastic movie. It's about business, family, loyalty. It talks about many interesting topics. Well, they hide a gun here. There is a gun here hidden here in the back of the toilet, and they hide it there the day before. So what they do is that they search Michael for a gun here, and they find nothing, of course, but the gun is hidden here. So at certain point, he asks for permission. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? He asks these two guys, and they say, well, yeah, but they check him out first, and they say, no, he's clear, has nothing. So Michael goes to the bathroom, and what do you think happens there? He grabs the gun, comes back, and kills them both, right?
Mm.
So actually, the idea of the microphone that you mentioned is really a good idea. And what needs to happen then is that somebody the days before, or someone who is colluded with Hans Niemann, hides the chip here in the bathroom or anywhere. Yeah, in the bathroom, because they have to go to the bathroom, right? And they ask for permission. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, of course. Sometimes they go three, four, 5 times to the bathroom during the chess game.
Wow.
So that's probably the way to do it, because they search them. They search them with a metal detector, with an electronic detector, to see if they have like a chip installed, or the glasses that you mentioned. Well,
Mhm.
maybe not the glasses, but so I was
Something
thinking of
similar.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking now, because they search them in the entrance, but not when they go to the bathroom. So maybe
Or
the
like a try up connection with other people. I don't know, but
yeah, that's a great idea, this one here. Well, this is becoming like a scandal, because now the kid, Neiman, has accused the world champion for $100 million for libel. Neiman accuses
$100 million.
Carlson, yeah,
Wow.
for sues. It's actually a sue, legally sue, sues Carlson for $100 million. Neiman accuses sues Carlson for, yeah, Hans Niemann sues Magnus Carlsen because he said that Niemann was cheating. Here, here, let me send you the link, and I'll share it with you here. Let's see what you think, Mickey, for this about this news.
That's true.
Well, here,
Do you send in the comments?
I sent it through the chat in WhatsApp, but I'll send it here through the comments. Okay, here it is in the comments of the StreamYard. Chess cheating accusation here. This is Niemann. Let's see. Do you want
Mm,
me,
I
please?
found here the page in the laptop too.
The link? Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
He's 19 years old.
19 years old, yes. And he
Wow.
has accepted of prior cheating in other tournaments, but apparently now he's white soul. He's clean now, apparently.
Mm. Hans Newman is launching a counter-attack in his dispute.
Yes, yes. Can you read that out loud, please?
Ah, yes, sure. Hans Niemann is launching a counter-attack in his dispute with chess world champion Magnus Carlsen, filing a federal law. How do you say that?
Filing a federal
Filing a federal
lawsuit.
lawsuit that accuses Carlsen of maliciously colluding with others to defame the 19-year-old grandmaster and ruin his career. It's the latest move in a scandal that has injected unprecedented levels of drama into the world of elite chess since early September, when Carlsen suggested Niemann's upset victory over him at the Sinquefield Cup tournament in Saint Louis was the result of cheating. Niemann
Yeah.
wants a federal court in Missouri's Eastern District to award him at least $100 million damages. Defendants in the lawsuit include Carlsen, his company Play Magnus Group, the only platform chess.com, and its leader, Danny Range, along with Grandmaster Hikaru Nakamura. The lawsuit says that in the aftermath of Niemann's upset win in September, Carlsen has been motivated to preserve his status as the king of chess, so he could complete his company buyout by Chess.com, a deal worth tens of millions of dollars. The court fi- filing, no,
The court filing.
filing accuses Ranch and Nakamura of using their influence to amplify the boaster's Carlsen's claims that Niemann is a cheater. The suit seeking a jury trial was filed on Thursday, one day after Niemann finished the US Chess Championship tournament in a five-way tie for fifth place.
Yes. So the idea that computers it's clear now that computers can beat men, right? I don't know if you are aware of that, Mickey, but a computer can now beat a world champion, and that happened since the year of when was this match between Kasparov and Deep Blue? This was this very funny event that took place. I forgot the year, but do you, do you know the name of Garry Kasparov? Is more or less familiar to you, or not
Um,
very much?
I think yes, because I think that you mentioned it one day.
Okay. Let me send you a link to this short video. It's a video of what, 3 minutes. Let's take a look at it really quick, please, Mickey. Um, it talks about how a computer was able to beat the world chess champion back then. I just want to find the year. At that time, Magnus
Yeah,
Carlsen was the champion.
I think that was in 1997.
1997. So over 20 years ago, the computers have been able to beat the world champion. So imagine that was 20 some years ago. So can we take a quick look at this video, Mickey? It's only 3 minutes, and see what you think about a computer beating a man in an intelligence game.
Sorry, teacher.
That's okay. It's okay, Mickey.
Yeah, I found here the video that you sent.
Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. How a computer beat is just playing in the world.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear. Yes. Nobody expected Kasparov to lose.
There were like a rematch or
It was a rematch. It was a rematch. The
okay, okay.
previous one, Kasparov had won, had beaten
Mm.
the computer the year before. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think of this, Mickey?
Well, uh, in part it's great because we can create those machines to fix different problems, different, for example, games. Um, but um, if we see in a futuristic way, probably it's not so good to the machines could have um, all that knowledge and how can I say it?
Ability or power to beat the world champions in anything, even in the game of
Yeah.
Go?
For example, we're talking about chess, but in general, I think that is not something good in other aspects,
Right.
of course, because
Okay. Yes, 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 yes,
we
yes.
yeah because we're talking about chess, but for example, there are machines that are doing the work of people, and like we said, the other class. Probably we could human in general could be um, how do you say obsoletos,
Obsolete. Obsolete.
obsolete? Yeah, and I think that is not good. obviously.
Yeah, well, your comment is is crucial. It's very important, and there is another aspect of technology which is not only bad but it's also dangerous. Let's take a brief look at this article here. I don't know if this topic comes familiar to you. Can you read the heading, please?
Yes. How could failed computer chip lead to nuclear war?
What do you think the contents of this article is gonna be about?
Mm, I don't know. Probably one program failed and provocates a threat to another country, and this country responds to that threat and provocates a war or something like that.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Yes, 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 yes. There actually been cases like that in which false signal. Oh, here's Mitch. Let me say hello, Mitch. Hello, how are you?
Hi, teacher. How are you? I'm
Excellent. Thanks very
pretty good,
much.
thank you.
Excellent.
Sorry for not being today. I was with my parents in Irequa. I wasn't aware that today we had class. That was undistracted and misunderstanding from my part.
Yeah, well, no, actually, I sent many changes to the class. Sorry, because I was in Aguascalientes and I finished the exam. I was incredibly tired and with basically not much energy. But uh, well, here we are, and we're talking about very interesting facts, very interesting topics, which is technology, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the threats. Like in this case, uh, that helps people cheat in games like chess. But there are more serious things, and we're about to start with this more serious thing. If you read the heading of this article, Mitch, and Miky
Yes,
guessed, what would you guess the idea behind this article is?
how could a failed computer chip lead a nuclear war?
Yeah.
Okay. This could happen. Maybe if I don't know,
I don't know.
between regions or countries, misunderstanding a messages by a fail of a computer, or the computer don't register some. How can I say datos?
Data.
Some important data between some, I don't know, commercial stuff, um, misunderstandings more than anything for the mistake of the machine.
Right,
It's
exactly.
impressive how a little mistake can cause a nuclear war.
Absolutely. Actually, this is very real. For example, in this case, and you will see it in the reading, the satellite detects a false missile launch attack. Satellites informs the headquarters in the US of this imminent threat and consider that they have minutes to respond. It's not like they have 2 3 hours. They have minutes to respond with a full out retail attack, retaliation attack. Uh, so the alert system in the US has to decide whether to launch a full out nuclear strike. And they have minutes to do this. Imagine the tension, imagine the risk that we are of a nuclear conflagration because of a computer failure, right? So let's take a look at this article here, please, really quick. And let's read. This is the headquarters center where they have to decide whether to respond to the threat or to consider it as a mistake, as a warning system. This is real life. Don't think this is fiction. So let me increase the font size a little bit. Can somebody read the first paragraphs, please? The first 3 4 paragraphs, please.
Me.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, The US early warning system is on watch 24/7 looking for signs of a nuclear missile launch at the United States as a highly complex system with links to sensors around the globe and in space it relies heavily on computers to do its job. So what happens if there are glitches in the computers? Between November 1979 and June 1980, though 1980, those computers led to several false warnings of all-out nuclear attack by Soviet Union. This is true. And hard stop in middle of the night telephone call. NORA command post C90 1982 search U.S. National Archives. NORA command post C9082 source U.S. National Archives. I described one of these glitches previously. That one in 1970, 1990, 19, no, 90,
1979? 19.
1979 was
Yes.
actually caused by human and system errors, and technicians put a training tape in a computer that then inexplicably route the information to the main US warning centers. The Pentagon's investigators state that they were never able to replicate the failure mode to figure out what happened. Just months later, one of the millions of computer chips in the early warning system went haywire, leading to incidents on May 28, June 3, and June 6 of 1980.
Thank you very much, Mitch. How much time do you think there is between the signal? Oh, the Russians, the Soviets are launching an attack for the US to respond a full out nuclear war. How much time do you guys think there is between the detection of the signal to our full out response?
Some
Mm,
hours.
Hours. Okay.
I
What do you
don't.
think, Mickey? Okay, you think hours could be? Okay, could be, could be. What do you think,
uh,
Mickey?
Probably minutes because you need to respond immediately.
Yeah, well, here at the end of the first paragraph here, the June 3 attack. Can you read it, Mickey, please, and then discuss it?
Yes, sir. The June 3 attack, by far the most serious of the computer chip problems, occurred on early June 3, when the main US warning centers all received notification of a large incoming nuclear strike. The President's National Security Advisor, Zbigniew Brzezinski, woke at 3 a.m. to a phone call telling him a large nuclear attack on the United States was on the way and he should prepare to call the president. He later said he had not woken up his wife, assuming they would be dead in 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So, in 30 minutes, you receive the missiles that will destroy automatically, will evaporate the people. 30 minutes, if it is true. So, how much time do you think you have to respond to check if it is true or not, if there is a mistake or not? It's very little time for you to check if there is a malfunction in the system and that you're under attack by a superpower. How how should people take this, Mitch?
What?
How should people take this? That we have 30 minutes. Once you know that you are absolutely certain that we all would be dead in 30 minutes because the Russians launched a nuclear attack on us or on the US.
Mm, because a nuclear attack it's massive and killed everything in their past.
Yeah, but how should people take this news that we only have 30 minutes to respond or to do anything?
Well, could do well the normal people, citizens.
Yeah, yeah, citizens, exactly. Yeah, because one is the militiamen
Mm.
and the other is the citizens, yes.
Actually, yesterday my mom was telling me about a movie that she telling me about a nuclear that's supposed to be the Russian government want to attack in England, and they has to consume a pill, and they say, well, in the real life could be an uh, meets meets attitude of the people. Some of them who tried to expend their last minutes to the better form that they can, and other ones just are too afraid and waiting that the one that the thing that had to happen. And well, if I were in that case, I think I've been okay, a little afraid. No, I'm too afraid, but I'm tried to clear my mind and try to pass my last minutes with the ones that I care and the ones that I love. It's difficult and hard to think about it.
Well, yeah, that's very, very intense, very sincere, and very nice comment, Mitch. Thank you very much. Yeah, how did we spend our last 30 minutes, our last 2 months when I have a class of nursing in English with a nursing class, and sometimes they tell the patient, they have to tell the patient, you know what? Most likely, in the best of cases, you will have 3, 4 months because they have a lethal, what's this? They have a disease, a non-recovery disease. So, what do you think of this, Mickey? Thank you, Mitch.
About assuming they will all be dead in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the fact that if there is a computer mistake,
Hmm.
that's gonna cost us our life in 30 minutes. If there is a computer mistake, uh, how much weight are we putting on technology? Is the question because the topic of today, Mitch, is technology. So, Mickey, what do you think? What should we? How should we
Yeah.
feel? How should we think? What should we do? Or just do
uh,
nothing? What do you think?
yeah, teacher, that's what I said. Obviously, it's supposed that machines doesn't have mistakes, doesn't have errors, but at the end, the machines were designed for human, and human obviously makes errors. And if we put a lot of trust in those machines, something, well, a catastrophe could occur.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they even had a conference here, the NORAD, which is the institution that governs the Air Force in the US, and that was responsible also for not detecting, and I put this not detecting in quotation marks, the attack of the supposedly or alleged attack of the Arabs in the Twin Towers that lasted for more than 1 hour. So imagine the US system is able to detect in less than 6 minutes if there was a missile launched 10,000 kilometers away, they detect that in 2 minutes. And they couldn't detect 5 airplanes flying in New York by the
Yeah.
Arabs for 1 hour. Okay, that's come on, right? So, well, that leads us to another controversial topic, which I find incredibly interesting. But let's read this paragraph, Mitch. Can you please, like the November 1979 glitch?
Yes. Like the November 1979 glitch, this one led NEORAD to convene a high-level threat assessment conference, which includes the chair of the Joint Chief of Staff, and it's just below the level that involves the president. Taking this step sets lots of things in motion to increase survivability of U.S. strategic force and command and control systems. Air Force bomber crews at bases around the U.S. got in their planes and started two engines ready for takeoff. Missile launch offices were notified to stand by for launch orders. To pacify commands, airborne commands was locked off from Hawaii. The National Emergency Airborne Command Post at Andrews Air Force Base Tetsit into position for a rapid takeoff. The warning centers, by comparing warning signals they were getting from several different sources, were able to determine within a few minutes they were saying a false alarm, likely to due to a computer glitch. The specific cause wasn't identified until much later. At the point, a Pentagon document matter of faculty stated that a 46-cent computer chip simply wore out.
Yeah, well, how do you guys like that?
Hmm. What means wore out?
Wore out, where was worn, usado, se desgastó.
Se
Worn
desgastó.
out. Yeah, wore
Mm,
out, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the same that we're talking. When you put a lot of trust, a lot of confidence in a computer, those things call for cure.
Yeah. And the question is, what should we do as society, and what would you do if you were in the militia, if you were in the military, or in the political command levels? What would you do to avoid this or to diminish the risk?
Mm, well, obviously, computers help us to reduce time and to reduce work to the humans. But at the end, I think that is necessary to someone, a person who is prepared to do that, and obviously stay maintaining the computer, stay updating the computer, checking if it's all good, and not only have this machine there, and if something occurs, you trust in the computer.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's very important, Mickey. Thank you. Mitch, what do you think you would do if you had to take
Ayúdame.
measures not only to reduce the risks, but to take a correct response in case that I mean, how do you certify the computer is right or wrong when they make decisions in millions of operations in seconds? How can we as humans that program the computers make sure it's not a mistake or is a mistake?
mm, I think each system of computers have to have a software to check if every function that it have, it's functioning okay. For example, sometimes I'm seeing that people set a function and the computer has to set everything is okay, and other function and the computer everything is okay. And if something is a little different, the computer has to so, how can I say señalar?
To point out.
To point out
Points out.
that mistake, and apparently these people don't have these ones, or the computer was confusing other objects with nuclear bombs,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly. Yeah.
uh
And that has happened quite a number of times. Well, before you arrived, Mitch, we were talking about how the computers cannot be the world champions in anything. I sent a video in which a computer was able to beat Garry Kasparov in 1996, right, Mickey?
Yeah, 97, I think so.
Okay, 1997. All right. So more than 20 years ago, 25 years ago, computers were able to beat the best chess player in the world, and they can beat anyone now. A computer can beat anyone in this moment. So there is a suggestion that a young kid is cheating playing chess against the world champion, but it's sure that a computer can beat the best chess player in the world. Um, uh, so how can we check a computer that is way better than us? Is like a
Yeah,
controversial question, right? We're gonna check something that is faster, more reliable, makes less mistakes, and is for sure way better than humans in specific activities. How can we do that?
that's gonna be your problem in the future. Well, actually, we are seeing this from actuality, but I think that in the future will be bigger.
Right. So, what are the suggestions for us to do in the future, Mitch, Mickey? What should we do? Talking about computers.
Mm,
mm,
Well, obviously there are a lot of theories, but for example, there are people who say that you don't save all your money in the bank because if something occurs, for example, to the system of the bank, probably your money could disappear. So I think that we must be aware of the things that could happen with technology and try to don't put all our trust or all our confidence to those machines because obviously could fail and we could lose a lot of things.
Well, Mickey, I absolutely like your suggestion. Yes, we yeah, at the same. It's a fantastic analogy. The same, we don't put all our money in the bank. Your suggestion is that we shouldn't put all our trust in computers. I could actually make a legend out of this. Believe me, it's really smart. I like it. What would be your concluding words today, Mitch? Talking about the topic, should we always trust computers? Should we, like Mickey says, not put all our trust in them, but just part of it, make them better? What would your suggestion be, Mitch?
Well, yeah, it is obvious that the technology has increased and evolutioned the past of the years, but of course, it's a thing that it's made by humans. As a humans, we commit errors, and if the computers commit errors, is that a human don't let the no don't do the good maintenance or work in that machine, then if it that happen, if the machine is the objective machine is helping the other people or it has a mistake, as Mickey said, we can lose a lot of things. Then we have to make our own strategies to use the technology as our favor and don't trust this 100% in them, because I don't know, could happen pretty bad things and we could regret very much.
Yeah, okay, very good. Excellent. Well, Mickey, Mitch, thank you very much uh, for your comments. It can be far beyond that. It's really controversial. And then you start talking about all the situations like the Twin Towers that have been relying on computers and computer detection systems. And they just cannot stop talking and talking about things like that. Very interestingly, very funny, very controversial, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go then, Mickey, Mitch. Thank you for your time. See you when Monday, I guess, right? Tomorrow,
Thank you, teacher.
or who's your
Yes.
turn tomorrow, or when, or Tuesday? You tell me, please.
How many classes left, teacher? Two or three? I don't remember. Two, I think so.
I think two, because this week we had only, how many classes did we have this week?
Mm, two or three? Two, I think so.
We had
Yeah.
on Tuesday,
Um,
Thursday,
yeah, Thursday, and today.
yeah, three classes. So there's one pending, I think, right? Or two. How many classes are pending? I don't know if it is one, two, or three. I think it's two or one.
I think that is two.
Two pending classes. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so let's try to do five
Because
or four.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and this week, this coming week, let's try to do three, no, not three, but 4 or 5 classes to compensate for one or both missing classes. What do you think?
Yes, teacher. Could be at 4 to 5.
Okay, very good. So tomorrow we can do four. I mean, this week we can have 4 or 5 classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
To Okay, very good. Excellent. Well, if you have the opportunity to look for a controversial article related to technology, Mitch, Mickey, that'd be great. That way we would be able to further the discussion on this topic. How about that?
Yes,
Which
teacher.
other
It's
subject
perfect.
do you see today, teacher? Did you see?
Just so the technology, just about technology. That's the only
Okay.
thing we saw. But of course, it has many branches. It has many variations.
See, see. Yes, yes, yes.
because you can go to mechanical, medical, communications, electronic, industrial, manufacturing. It is a very, very wide. This can be a university class, right?
Yeah.
For it's very wide, very extensive, and incredibly interesting.
Yeah, it's too much. I like it.
Okay. Well, so if God permits, see you tomorrow, like at 4. Is that a good time, Mitch, McGee?
Yes, sure.
Mm-hmm.
45 is great. Thank you very
Yes.
Okay.
much.
Well, take care, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Say hello to the family, and see you tomorrow. Then take care.
Take care,
You
teacher.
as
Thank you
well,
so
teacher.
much.
Take care.
Goodbye. See you then.
Bye.
Bye
See
bye.
you then.